Welcome back to the DFS Special. I'm your host, your DFS Jerusalem, coming to you live from the list. You got 150 entries, and then you're a shark, and I don't fuck with you. So there's too much good shit on here. This is the often imitated, never duplicated. I'm here with my lovely co-host. Thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy. I may have been calling in to work. You're gonna be in the running for the Snowflake of the Year. Get your shit together with your snowflake. I'm at the crib, man, and I'm just finishing up inside. Throw them bitches in the main. I'm telling you. You're gonna see the results, bro. You're gonna see it. Just this is what's really gonna help you out. You know how I feel about the home dogs. There's a lot of fight in the home dogs, and I really think a lot of shit to go over tonight. Who that? Score all them points over there. Player of the night.
Get him in your lineups. Get him in there. And let's go get this money.
Thursday, let's go, and remember, in the sweatshop, we always keep it 300. What is going on? What's happening? How you doing? This is your big homie, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we will be talking about some NFL. We've got a really solid 12-game NFL slate to jump into. This is going to be a nice one. And we've got some stuff to chop up, something to talk about with that. Had a pretty solid evening in the way of NBA. And, really quick, you all have the benefit, the privilege, the honor of also being laced and intertwined with the DFS Sweatshop VIP. Everybody give the VIP a round of applause. Thank you all, gentlemen. Y'all are the ones that make the engine go. We are now here with the YouTube peeps, chopping it up. We're going to be breaking this shit down, man, and going through some NFL. But first, let's go ahead and look really quickly through last night's NBA stuff. And we're going to do that by just simply taking a look at the feature 4 plays of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. We're going to start with the who dat. Scoring 1 points over there. Player of the night, DeMarre Carroll. Oh, this was my favorite game on the slate. A lot of people were stuck on that Orlando-Washington game. They liked the Golden State joint. They even fell in love with the late game, the Lakers joint. But this was my favorite game. I love this game. And DeMarre Carroll, man, in 36 minutes, 20 points, 13 boards, big double-double, had 4 assists, hit 4 3-point shots, only turned the ball over once, mistake-free basketball, very solid game for you. That's why tonight, Mr. DeMarre Carroll, you are the who dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. The next guy I'm going to talk about is the how did I miss that play of the night. That is going to Ricky Reek. Ricky Reek went the fuck off. 64.75 DraftKings points. This dude actually led the entire slate in scoring. Let's not be confused. Ricky Reek put in work today. I mean, he went nuts. 38 minutes, 30 points, 7 boards, 11 assists, knocked down 6 3-point shots, had 3 steals, only turned it over twice. I thought the dude was going to go off for a triple-double. Ricky Reek went off, and we knew this was coming. We talked about this in the shop. The build-up had been bubbling over, especially. This is what took me off of Ricky Reek, because we were on him in the shop. We were talking about him. I liked him. You liked him. We all talked about him. And we were under the impression that we might not see Marc Gasol. So when Marc Gasol, was said to be playing, I not only lessened my Ricky Reek shares, I totally got up off him. Because I loved him here, with no Gasol. I felt like all of the usage was going to go his way, offensive and defensively. I thought he was going to be in a prime spot to give me a nice 42, 43-point game. But no, not only did he go out and he ball and lead the slate in scoring, but Marc Gasol played and had a good one too. So shout out to you, Ricky Reek. You showed us tonight that no matter who's on the court, if you're on the court, you're also in play. Big shout out to the homie. How the fuck did I miss that play? Tyreek Evans. Bam. Next guy we're going to talk about is going to be the heat check player tonight. Ooh. And we got a man on fire. If I could sing like Alicia Keys right now, this man is on fire. I mean, he went off. And we knew it was coming. This is the heat check play tonight. 5.9K. Went out better than 10x on him. I'm talking about Elfrid Payton, man. What a solid performance, man. 36 minutes. It was a blowout. He had 30 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, a block shot, turned it over 3 times. But, man, Elfrid Payton tonight, you may have redeemed yourself because you were so close to being dead. Yo, I was fighting for you, okay? Everybody in the shop said to put you on the shelf, leave you there. You're a dead elf and do not fucking play you. Well, I'm going to tell you, I played you. I had some of you. You was in my $8 tourney, and you turned the bitch out. You went ham. Shout out to you, Elfrid Payton, at 2.5% owned. You are the heat check play of the night. Now, we gonna talk about that one motherfucker. And this motherfucker was so sorry. He don't even deserve music. He should have been the snowflake of the night last night, but I wasn't able to get to it to do the show. So he's got a double dose of the snowflake, and that's gonna go none other than to you, Yusuf Nurkic. You's a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. I'm not gonna roster your bitch ass again. How did you get destroyed by Jokic last night? The guy that they traded you to get rid of you to play him, and he comes to your crib and destroys you. Then you come back out at 6.7K and you get done up again. You get touched up again. You get punished so bad that you only played 17 minutes. You a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I'm not gonna roster your bitch ass again. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show, you sorry snowflake. Now, real quick, giving you a brief look at what I was able to do last night. My very best lineup, my very best DK lineup was pretty solid, man. I had the Tyler Johnson. I got completely off of Tyler Johnson on FanDuel, but I stayed with him on DraftKings, and it was cool. He had 29. I had Napier was good. Bogdanovich was good. Miles Turner was a guy that I had just about everywhere. He was a core guy for me. Nick Batum, Jokic kind of disappointed. Westbrook was good. That was my very best, my highest scoring lineup. Was it? Yeah, that was my highest scoring lineup. My best line was 298.5, and that's the elf line that I had in the excellent eights. I had Elfrid Payton, and you can tell this is tournament. This is a tournament line. Elfrid Payton, Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, Wilson Chandler, Karl-Anthony Towns, Teague. Both of those guys really underwhelmed for me. Bogdanovic and Tyler Johnson. That was a good one. So it was a pretty solid night for me, man. I went in more than triple my buy-in. That's good. I've got some football money to play with. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and chop up some football. But before we do that, actually, I really want to talk about this because, well, first things first, we're going to be working from RotoQL, man. Very solid projection site and optimization site. I love it. I use it for everything: football, baseball, basketball, and baseball is less than 2 months away. It's coming. It's going to be dope. We are going to run this town tonight. I should have had a drop. Run this town tonight. I'm getting all that, bro. So, and I want to talk a little bit about bankroll management, okay? I want to talk about bankroll management. Something that I'm noticing, man, is with the influx of new players this year, like nobody is really telling you all how to, NBA is a long season. NBA is a long season. The goal in NBA is to take out more than you put in. And the way you do that is not only do you have to know how much to play, but you have to know what style of contest to play. Okay? And I'm gonna give you like a 3-tier kind of instruction, okay? The first thing you want to do is you want to play cash games. That is head-to-heads, double-ups, 50-50s. You want to play those, okay? You want to play those. You're going to use the cash games, the double-ups. You're going to use those, the 50-50s, head-to-heads. You're going to use those to pay for your tournament exploits, okay? The next thing you want to play after that is you want to play single entry tournaments. The tournaments where everybody has one shot, one kill. I know on DraftKings you got, on NBA you have a $1, a $3, a $2, a $5, a 25, a 33, a 40, a 100. You know what I'm saying? All the way up there. So you want to play those single entry joints. Then you want to invest. The last thing you want to do is invest in the large GPPs, the $8 150 max, or the $3 20 max. You want to invest in those last, okay? Most of your bankroll most of your bankroll is going to be predicated on those cash games, man. It's a grind. It's a slow grind. Randy Ortega says the goal is to win that quick come up and be out. And that's the quickest way to just be out. Because listen, ain't no quick come up, man. The motherfuckers who do the most research, who get the most information from other people, not just from the NBA or whatever, but gets the most information around the industry to know what everybody else is doing. This shit is poker, bro. I cannot explain this enough. And I did a lot of this last year, man. And I thought that you just knew it because you've been fucking with me, but this is poker, bro. The best thing you need to know in dealing with NBA is who everybody else is on. Because then you can make a decision whether you want to be a part of what everybody else is doing or if you want to go against the grain and do something different. We spoke about this today. In the shop, I kind of laced out a guy that I really believed in. Dinwiddie was 6.4. Eric Bledsoe was 6.4. And I told everybody, yo, Bledsoe was going to be 30+% owned, probably. And if you wanted to pivot from him, go Dinwiddie. He could even score more points than Bledsoe. And any line, and I didn't want to be 100% Bledsoe, so any line I didn't have Bledsoe when I had Dinwiddie in, I had both of them in some, and it worked out well. Okay, so this is poker, bro. This is poker, and it's chess. It's not checkers. That's why I would advise you, if you have not, to go ahead and align yourself with a DFS home, whether it be here in the DFS sweatshop, which I feel is the best, or is it Fantasy Phenom, or is it Run DFS is where you want to be? Is it the homie DFS Mastermind? Like there's so many. There's a few really good places, man. Ryan Kostrowski, the DFS 5-pack. There's a few good places. Cam ATL, he's a lineup provider. There's a few good people that I feel are honest and genuine in their assessment of DFS sports on a daily basis, where you can go and get information, get camaraderie, and you just want to be able to talk DFS honestly. Don't fuck with that large shit, bro. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. They'll never put you on plays that are good. And if you have good plays, when you go to their site, they're gonna take you off of the good plays by feeding you some bullshit. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump into today's NFL slate. It is 12 games. It's gonna be a really nice one. Now, once we leave here, because I'm gonna go through and break down the slate and kind of give my thoughts on each game. And once we leave here, I'm gonna close the curtain, bro, and we're gonna go back into the DFS Sweatshop VIP, and we're gonna go ahead and build some lines to kind of rock out with tonight. Like we built some lines last night for NBA, bro, and those are dope. 9 out of the 10 lineups that we built cashed. 9 out of 10 lines we built cash. Now, does that happen every day? No, but it does happen, and it happens even like to a greater extent, to where we rock out and go ham. So first game we got is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Yo, I can give it to you straight up raw in the butt. Let you know, Cam Newton, one of my favorite quarterback plays on the slate. I will be rocking out to Cam. You can look and just tell, bro. If we look at the standings, this is going to be NFL.com. This is NFL.com, and I'm going to take a look at some of the standings real quick, just to give you a look at the playoff picture, because we have arrived at a point in the season where teams are playing for their playoff lives, and we've got to know who they are and what's at stake, what's on the line. Okay, so the Carolina Panthers, they are safely tucked, I believe, in the 5 seed at the moment, but things could change, man. They are jockeying for playoff positioning, and the Panthers at the crib welcoming the Tampa Bay Bucks to Carolina. Yo, amidst what they're going through in Carolina with Jerry Richardson and all that bullshit, that's not going to translate to what's happening on the field. And I really like the Panthers tomorrow. I love Cam here. The Saints, we're looking at them. They're in playoff contention still as a 4th seed. You've got some guys on a bubble. You look at the Lions, Seahawks, and the Cowboys. The Seahawks and the Cowboys play each other today. On the other side, you've got the Bills and the Chargers are still in the hunt, trying to get in there. These guys are trying to protect their positioning. Talking about the Ravens and the Chiefs. So, the Ravens just won actually. But this is a good slate. This is a good slate. So let's go ahead. We're talking about the Panthers here, and Devin Funchess, he is questionable. I think he's playable in this spot, but Damiere Byrd, we saw him catch a couple touchdowns. He's only priced at 3.5. He is a guy that I think you could get behind. I do like Greg Olsen at 5.2. He's priced mid-level as far as tight ends go because some go up as high as 7.3, 7.5K, and of course some are lower as 2.5, 2.6. But Greg Olsen is a mid-level guy. I think is very involved in the offense. He looked to be pretty good coming back off of that injury. So I think he's definitely one way to really beat the Panthers, and that's going to be through the air. So I'm not going to be involved in any of the Tampa Bay running game, but I think that Mike Evans is in play for us at 6.4. I think that, if you want to take a shot at somebody cheap with Adam Humphries at minimum salary, you look at Deshaun Jackson being out, Cameron Brake being questionable, O.J. Howard being out. That's really going to leave them, behind the 8 ball in terms of and it's not like it was last year where you could just dial up anything against the Browns, whether it be offensively or defensively. But this week, I do think I've got the Chicago Bears at home. I've got the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst teams on the road, going into Chicago, Soldier Field. I like Mitchell Trubisky here. Give me Trubisky against the 25th ranked DVP against the quarterback position. I like him. Give me Trubisky. Give me Jordan Howard at 6.6. He owes me money from last week. Kendall Wright at 3.8 is a very cheap salary saving option. I think I can stack this shit and possibly between the 3 of these players, I can get damn near 50 between the 3 of these players. I really think I can. I think I can. I think I can touch 50, maybe even 60 points between the 3 of these cats, and do very well. I kind of like this. I kind of like this, bro. I like a stack, a Chicago Bears stack, and it's a contrarian stack. Don't get me wrong. Like nobody's gonna want to do this, but I think I can go here. I also like the Bears defensively. This is the best team in the league defensive wise in this spot. So I definitely think that we can play them against them, and that's why if I don't have Trubisky, if I don't have Kendall Wright, I will probably have Jordan Howard and the Bears defense paired up in a lot of lineups. Deshaun Kaiser, no way I play him. I like nothing from the Cleveland Browns side at all. The only person that I might even be convinced in the slightest to give him some run would be Josh Gordon. That is the only person. But aside from him, I like absolutely nothing about the Cleveland Browns. Next game we got is going to be Detroit Lions going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This is a 44-point total. We've got the Detroit Lions giving up 3 points on the road. We know that at this point, we know that Marvin Lewis is not going to be coaching his team next year. They're pretty much out of the playoff picture. There's no way like they can get in. Like they're done. They're toast. They're dead. And I don't foresee a super spirited game come out of Cincinnati. But the thing is, look who is knocking on the door. The Lions. They're the projected 7th seed, and they're 8-6 right now. So those guys need to get a win. And I think, Matt Stafford, Theo Riddick is going to be in play for me. Golden Tate here. Maybe a little Marvin Jones. Even Eric Ebron looks to be a playable asset. And I think that is what could get Cincinnati going, is the pride of getting their ass whooped at home. So you may see Andy slinging around some. And Joe Mixon looks to be a pretty good matchup. Looks to be in a pretty good matchup here at 5.1K against the 30th ranked DVP against the running back position. So that could be a usable component. Joe Mixon and AJ Green at 6.7 is a guy that you could use if you find yourself stacking here. And of course, the Detroit Lions, man, they have not been very good against tight ends so far this season. So maybe some Tyler Kroft could be in the cards for you. I wouldn't suggest playing all of them or stacking them in any way. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't expect to like stack them in any way, but I do think that if I wanted to choose 1 or 2 of those guys, I could play those guys there. I really do. I think that's okay. Next game we got is going to be the Miami Dolphins going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs here. It's a 10.5-point differential with a 43-point total. We got Alex Smith at 6.6. I think that's priced up. I don't love him. We've seen Alex Smith defend home turf well and play pretty decently in certain spots, but I don't think I'm not a big fan of that. I do like Kareem Hunt at 8.4. I think that the Chiefs defense is also in play at 3.3, and I love the fact that I like a running back and I like a defense, and that means I can pair those guys together. I think Tyreek Hill is in play at 6.5. But I won't have a ton of them. But I love Kareem Hunt and the Chiefs defense. Where I don't have Jordan Howard and the Bears, I probably will have Kareem Hunt and the Chiefs defense. I really like that. On the other side, Kenyon Drake looks to be in play, even though he's 7.1. He's going to get all the touches in this spot, man. Damian Williams is doubtful here, so I think he's definitely a guy that you can look to. Jarvis Landry, it could be playable. It could be playable. At 6.3, I wouldn't have an issue with Jarvis Landry. If Jay Cutler decides to come to Kansas City and play well, that could be solid because this is a team that does give a lot of passing yards through the air. Like they're the 24th ranked DVP against the quarterback position, so I wouldn't have an issue with playing Jarvis Landry or that's it. Maybe Kenny Stills at 4K if you want to get cheap and jiggy with it. Maybe Kenny Stills on some crazy shit. Next game we got is going to be the Buffalo Bills going to New England to take on the Patriots. Tyrod Taylor, 5.5. You got LaShawn McCoy is at 7.8. You got Kelvin Benjamin, who is questionable in this spot. Zay Jones at 3.4. Yo, we've seen the New England Patriots like just give it up to quarterbacks all year long. Can we trust Tyrod Taylor in this spot? I wouldn't even try it. Let's take a look at the playoff picture here because the Bills are actually in the hunt. 8-6 is the record here. They are ahead of the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Dolphins. So they do have a shot. They do have a shot. I think LaShawn McCoy at 7.8 is a usable prospect. Maybe some Charles Clay at 3.8 is a guy that you could take a look at. On the other side, of course, you know, Tom Brady is always in play at 6.9. But I probably won't have a ton of them. I like Deion Lewis. He's priced up to 6K. This is the worst team in the league against running backs, so you want to be aware of that. And then, of course, Rob Gronkowski, man, at 7.4. Big price for a tight end. I don't know if I can get there, but if you play Brady, you've got to contemplate playing the guy that he loves to throw it to a lot, and that's going to be Rob Gronkowski, especially a team that is bad against tight ends. This game should shoot out. Landry is going to have a huge day, too. Game stack Smith, Kelsey Hunt, bring it back with Landry. Just talking about that Miami-Kansas City game. Good call. Next game we got is going to be the Atlanta Falcons going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. 52.5 point total. This is going to be the most popular game of the day, as it should be. And I love me some Drew Brees in this spot. I really do. Yo, we've seen Atlanta, you know, defend the run fairly decently, bro. Like they're not a horrible team against the run. So that is going to curb my enthusiasm for Mark Ingram. It is going to put me a little bit more on Alvin Kamara, as he's a guy that can come out of the backfield and just catch the fuck out of the ball. So I like him. Michael Thomas is questionable, which will allow me to lean on Ted Ginn Jr. here at 4.6. And maybe as a cheap play, some Brandon Coleman. But I'm going to highlight Mark Ingram too, because I mean, you never know. You can play Drew Brees and both of them motherfuckers, and Alvin Kamara is the wide receiver, so to speak, and Mark Ingram is the running back, and that's like a little stack. So you might can rock with that too. Really, real talk. You really could. Atlanta's been pretty bad against tight ends. You got Josh Hill here at 2.5. This is a very cheap tight end prospect that you maybe want to look at. On the other side, Julio Jones, man, at 7.9. Yo, last time Matt Ryan played them, bro, he didn't do very well. He didn't do very well. 9.8 fantasy points. The time before that, which was last year when the Saints defense wasn't shit, 32.44. So I think that this defense is real. This defense is real. The New Orleans defense is real. We got Drew Brees at home in a dome, and I'm going to be rocking out there. Don't love Julio Jones at 7.9. He's just not been himself a lot this year. I don't think I can get there with him. Mohamed Sanu, man, at 5.7 would be a more suitable play in my opinion, because I think the coverage is going to go to Julio Jones. That may open up something for Mohamed Sanu on the other side. So no Matt Ryan for me. Maybe some Devontae Freeman and Mohamed Sanu, but I love a lot of New Orleans guys. Next game we got is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers going to New York to take on the Jets. 42.5 point total. The Jets are getting 6.5 points. They are the home dog, and there's a lot of fight in a home dog. Too bad Bryce Petty sucks. That's going to make the Chargers an automatic look for me. Love them, but what kind of sets those other running back defense stacks apart is that I love the running back situations, and I don't really love the setting for Melvin Gordon here. I really don't. I don't love the setting. The thing about the other two places, Kansas City and Chicago, was not only do I love the defense, I love the running backs, but both of those running backs were home. You know what I mean? Both of those running backs were home. So so I definitely think that, you know, the Chargers are viable as a defense, but I think they win this game throwing the football. Looking at Phillip Rivers, who is moderately priced at 6.4. Keenan Allen, who has just been tearing it up, man, 7.7. Really good price on him. Tyrell Williams looks to be in play for me as well. And Antonio Gates is going to be here with Hunter Henry out. And Antonio Gates, cheap as shit at 2.5. That is something to look at. On the other side, I like Bilal Powell at 2.3. If we don't see, if we don't see Matt Forte and Elijah McGuire remains questionable, I think Bilal Powell could be in a solid spot at 4K. I would not have a big problem with that because we know Bryce Petty ain't gonna be slinging the ball around the field. They're gonna be running. Gordon will get a lot of touches, Mo. Gordon will get because the Austin Eckler dude. But me, I just like the other dudes more. I like Hunt more, and I like Jordan Howard more. But we can put Melvin Gordon in play though. We can put him in play. That's a play from you from the shop. Then we've got the Los Angeles Rams and the Tennessee Titans. Todd Gurley is the only negative play that I'm still gonna play regardless of what, because I don't give a fuck. That's it. That's the only that's the only dude that it makes sense to fade him, but I'm still gonna play him because he's just so ingratiated in this offense, man. I think I'm gonna give him a shot. Give me some Todd Gurley. Jared Goff, he's also in play at 6.1. Robert Woods at 6.5 is in play, so maybe you could look to a Los Angeles Rams stack. It's a 47-point total, so the game could shoot out. It could really, this shit could shoot out, bro. Sammy Watkins is really cheap at 4.4 as well. I don't love the tight end here. On the other side, you got Mariota, who I don't love. DeMarco Murray's in play at 4.6. He's fairly cheap. Let's look at DeMarco Murray's last few games, man. 7.6, 9.9, 13. That's not good. Well, what are we seeing from Derrick Henry? They've just not been running the ball well, period. Yeah, I can't play that shit. None of that. Then we got Denver and Washington. 40.5 point total. The Redskins are at home, giving up 3 points to the Denver Broncos here. We got Paxton Lynch at 4.6 against the 18th ranked DVP against quarterbacks, and he's questionable here. So we're not sure what's going to be happening there. I think C.J. Anderson is going to be in play for us. You've got Emmanuel Sanders out, Cody Latimer out. You've got Demaryius Thomas at 5.5 is pretty cheap, but this is just too tough a matchup to play. This game is a fade for me. I don't want to play any of this shit. Redskins defense, okay. See, I wish I loved the running back because I could go ham. But yeah, Redskins defense looks to be playable. Then we've got Jacksonville and the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G at the crib with his new team, man, against the #1 defense. The #1 defense against quarterbacks, man. This is a fade to me too. I don't want none of this shit. Give me some Leonard Fournette at 7.5, and I like the Jags. I like the Jags defense, but I don't love them. I think there's better defensive plays out there because I think Jimmy Garoppolo can actually, navigate through this enough to where it's not a Jacksonville shutout. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this lady just scored 19 points, so I could play Fournette. But I don't really love the Jacksonville defense, and I would just rather not even fuck with this game too much. Next, we got my New York Giants going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Drew Stanton at against one of the worst teams in the league against quarterbacks. My team, Drew Stanton at 4.5. I think he's usable. Him and Larry Fitzgerald, I would pair those cats together. Wouldn't take a look at any of the running backs. Drew Stanton and Larry Fitzgerald could hook up for a touchdown or two. I kind of like that. Jermaine Gresham, I'm not a big fan of his, or Ricky Seals-Jones, but just the fact that the Giants are the worst team in the league against tight ends, man, makes you want to take your pick of Ricky Seals-Jones and Jermaine Gresham, and I would go Seals-Jones here. On the other side, Eli Manning at 5.2. That's playable if you're looking for a punt, a low-owned punt. I could see the justice in playing him. If you wanted to pair him with Evan Ingram, I wouldn't have a big issue with that. If you wanted to stack Arizona with Larry Fitzgerald, maybe the Ricky Seals-Jones, and then you come back with Evan Ingram, that's cool. I wouldn't have a problem there. I really wouldn't have a problem there. Next game we got is going to be the Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys. 46.5 point total. Give me some of that Dak Prescott at 6K. I like this kid this week. Love Ezekiel Elliott. I think not only is Des Bryant in play for us. I think Cole Beasley at 3.4 is a usable play for us. On the other side, Russell, since they're gonna beat the Cowboys, I think, and I think they're gonna beat the Cowboys, and you're gonna see Russell Wilson hook up probably with guys like Doug Baldwin here, Tyler Lockett at 3.9 looks good, Jimmy Graham at 4.7, that looks good as well. This is gonna be a good game. This is good. This is gonna be a good game. I like that it's the last game on the slate. I'm gonna have some late slate hammer action going on here. So we've got a player pool that is really solid on DK. We're gonna be rocking out some FanDuel as well. So thank you for traveling with us as we broke down the slate, kind of developed our player pool. I'm gonna close the curtain, man, and go hit up all the homies in the VIP. We're gonna chop that shit up and break it down, man. And we're gonna come up with some good lines to roll out tomorrow. If you want to be a part of that, man, it's very simple. You go to the website www.dfssweatshop.com. We've got one more week of NFL. We've got 50 some odd more games of NBA. Then we've got MLB rolling around. This shit gonna be super litty. Much love and appreciation to everybody that enjoyed the stream. Meet me in the VIP. Let us pow wow. Number one thing I want you to do in the sweatshop. Excuse me, is keep it 300. Just keep it 300. The number one thing I want you to do. We out.